Hi there, welcome to another painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can paint this blue crystal. So let's get started. And we're going to start with a size 8 flat brush. I'm going to take some gray paint and kind of put in a base wash. If you want to see all the colors that I'm using, just look in the description below. And if you want to get this sketch, you can also get that in the description. Just follow the link. So we'll put a nice base of gray down to start with. Putting a little more water so that I get the right flow and consistency of the paint. Okay, and after you have that washed, you could let it dry if you would like. And I'm going to switch brushes. Let's go to a smaller flat brush. This is a size 5. And then let's see where we have some really dark values. I'm going to take a little bit of black paint, maybe mix it with a little bit of this navy blue, and put in some of the darkest values. So this little line here, it's pretty dark. And then this is a good brush for this because it's pretty easy to paint lines and geometric square shapes with this flat brush. I'm going to put a little bit on this edge. And if you need to get a little bit of a steady hand, just make sure you're putting it on something to kind of stabilize it. Okay, so then this little part here, go ahead and paint that in that dark shade. And just try to get some straight edges, as straight as you can. Use the edge of that flat brush. Okay, so we have some shapes down here that kind of look like triangles. They're presenting as pretty dark, but there's a light space in between them. So kind of make a little bit of a gap there. So a lot of the acrylic paints that you use may not be very opaque, so you don't really want to put down a dark color where you have to put a light on top of it. Only do that if you're sure that the color you want to put on top is really opaque and will show on top of that dark color. A lot of the craft paints that I use are pretty transparent. Okay, and this little rectangle here is pretty dark. Just looking around and seeing where else is this dark color. It's kind of around the edge of some of these different shapes. Can kind of outline some of the triangle shapes that you have. Okay, so this one, it's a little bit lighter. It's dark, but it's more of a grayish shade. So let's make this one dark. Okay, and then in the center here, this little shape, it goes from light to dark. So we'll put that in. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of dark paint on some of these lines that I have just to kind of outline them. And it's okay if we go over them. I just want a little bit of structure here. I'm just kind of outlining them. Okay, so that's good for an under painting and then the darkest values. So now let's put in some mid-tone colors. So this is a little bit of a darker mid-tone and it's kind of a metallic paint. And let's see if we can add that. And it's actually presenting fairly light. But I just want to put it in kind of different spaces where we see a mid-tone. And again, we're not getting a lot of detail here. Just kind of blocking in color. I love that metallic shine. It's really looks bright and pretty. Put a little bit on this side. Then maybe a little bit over here. Okay, now let's switch to another shade of blue. And this is a pretty bright blue color. I'm going to put that in right here. So I'm just trying to keep with my shapes and I'm trying to keep them rectangular and kind of square, different geometric shapes. And I'm still using the same size 5 flat brush here. Okay, so just another shade of blue, another mid-tone. Okay, and before I go further with this color, I actually want to put in some of the highlights, the lightest lights, because I don't want to get confused and kind of forget where to put those. So we'll just take a straight titanium white, which is a nice opaque white. Let's put some along this top here of the crystal. And then put some right at this point. So it's just helping me so I really know where those white areas are so that I don't accidentally paint over them. We have white there, and then this part is fairly white. And then this area is white here. And there's a bit of a white triangle here I'm going to put in. And then right here we have a nice strong white area. Okay, so that kind of just helped me lay in those bright whites so that I don't go over them, because there's just a lot of shapes going on here, so it can get a little bit confusing, a little complicated. So let's take some of this dark navy paint and mix it with that lighter blue mid-tone shade. And then let's see if we can put this color in some of these other areas. Okay, let's put this mid-tone here. And then a darker mid-tone right here. Okay, I'm just trying to get those different values of blue onto the page. It's just a lot of geometric shapes. Okay, and then you can go around and kind of see if you can clean up some of the edges. Just make things a little more cohesive and see if there's any places that just could use a little adjustment or cleaning up. Cover up all of that gray underpainting. Okay, I want to clean up this white edge a little bit. Okay, and then you can kind of let this dry. We'll do a little bit of glazing towards the end, but let's see if we can add a little bit of a shadow here. So I'm going to take this bright electric blue color and see if we can just kind of put that in as a little bit of a shadow, or kind of a reflection rather. So we'll take a little bit of the darker color, or it's kind of a mid-tone. Kind of put that around. Blend it into that lighter paint that you had just applied. And you can kind of erase some of the pencil lines before you do this step. And then I'm just kind of using my brush to blur that out a little bit. I really want it to look like it's glowing. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up a few edges right here. And maybe put a little bit of a darker color at the base here. Just kind of reinstate that bottom can be in a little bit more of a shadow. Okay, I'm going to take some of this metallic and just put it over on this side. It's a really pretty coolish shade of blue. So I'm going to kind of glaze that over. And if you don't have metallic paint, that's fine. You don't need to use metallic paint for this. Just some warm blues and some cool blues will work. Okay, so right now I'm just going around and cleaning up edges. And you might, at this stage, you might want to kind of step back a little bit. So right here, I'm kind of feathering, trying to blend that blue color into this white. And that's just going to give me a little bit more of a transition. Just give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, that kind of blends things together. It's a little bit of a glaze. Okay, so you could let that dry a little bit, and then you could maybe I'm going to take a little bit of this blue glaze here, kind of go over some of this. Just kind of blend things together. Can even go on top of some of these black areas so they're not quite so harsh. Just kind of smooth everything up. Okay, and then go ahead and take your flat brush, continuing with the same brush, take a little bit of titanium white, and let's just put in a few highlights. So just take the white and we're just going to pop in some places where we want the crystal to kind of glow. Put a little bit here and then a dash here. Just some little highlights. Okay, so I think we'll call that done. We'll stop there. I could mess with it forever, but we'll stop. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you get to paint along with me, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Like and subscribe for more. Bye.